Hello and welcome. I'm Jen, and on behalf of Vista Wellness, I am bringing you Fundamentals of Beginning Yoga. I am so glad that you can be part of this practice. Thank you for showing up and being here. You are right where you need to be. Before we get moving with this first practice, I want to introduce you to some options that you may use to help you feel supported in your practice. So sometimes you'll need a folding chair or a chair that does not have arms. You'll also want a yoga mat, or some kind of a mat that provides you some cushion, especially when you're on your hands and knees and when you're on your back. The other thing that you might find is nice to have is a blanket or two that you can unfold and refold and or roll in ways that, again, you will learn how to use to support your body. Because one of the main goals of this yoga practice is to help us find comfort, ease, and stability while we are practicing. And the more we can take care of ourselves on the mat and in the chair, the easier we can then perhaps take care of ourselves out in the world during our days when we're not on the mat. We also use things like this. This is a traditional yoga bolster. They come in different sizes and shapes and weights, but this is one that I like to use. And there's also some other forms of support like this. Okay. However, I think especially for beginners, the idea to support yourself with blocks should be of comfort to you as well. Okay, so it's okay to use props to help you access things, to help you deepen things, to help you feel more restorative in things. It is certainly a welcome quality to the practice. Okay, if you don't have props, you can certainly look around and see what you might use that you already have. For instance, some hardback books can take the place of the blocks, and bath towels or beach towels can take the place of blankets. There's really no alternative for a nice yoga mat, though. All right, with that being said, get your chair and have a seat. Great. So you are in good hands, as I am an experienced yoga instructor. I will take very good care of you, and you can ask me questions. You can send suggestions. We can do that in the chat box. We can also do that via email or phone call. You are, though, your best teacher. You know yourself better than I do, and therefore I would like you to learn how to tap into your creative and intuitive wisdom to guide you as safely and comfortably through your practice as you are able. Another way that you will do that is through your breathing. The yoga practice cannot take place without breath awareness. And we'll get into that and we'll learn more about it and deepen our practice with it. So you're here because you're ready to get started. So why don't we begin? In your chair position, you want to make sure that your feet meet the floor below you. You also want to make sure that your hips are scooted back so that your back can rest on your chair. And this isn't just a position that we choose for the support, but it's a position that we choose to begin to train the body to sit in an upright position, lengthening the spine, grounding into the feet, and beginning to establish a nice posture. So situate yourself. If your feet don't hit the ground below you, this is a place where the blocks or the books could come in. And actually, this is also a place where the blanket could come in, because ultimately we want our hips, our knees to be below the hips. So if you're sitting like this, that's going to be really uncomfortable. So sometimes simply sitting on a blanket will help those knees drop down. Great. All right. Welcome. Feel free now to either soften your eyes or close them, whatever you find best for you at this time. And bring your attention, your mind's attention, to the tips of your nostrils. Can you feel any air as you breathe in and out? Can you perhaps feel the temperature of your breath as you breathe in and out? Cool, warm, warm, cool. And if it's hard to do that, simply breathing out of the nostrils and letting your mind rest there, then bring up one of your hands or a few of the fingers and place that above the upper lip. And then feel now. So you know that you are seated in a chair, your feet are grounded on the floor, and you are breathing. This is how we begin our practice of yoga. Continue to sit and breathe, reminding yourself that we're beginners and that our minds will wander. When the mind wanders, lovingly encourage it to come back to be attentive to the breath. And receive this poem from Dana Falls, The Practice of Being Present. Attend the breath. Let the rhythm slow and settle, filling, emptying. Draw the outside in and then release. Simplicity and ease. Nothing to do but breathe, relax, and feel the free movement of air and life force. Watch the play of energy and sensation and allow everything to be without the need to change or fix or make it different. This moment, you can listen to your soul. This breath, you can have no goal but being. You are already complete. This, just this, is what it means to be whole. Keep breathing in and out of your nostrils. Lift your eyes to open or widen them if they were not closed. Bring a smile to your lips and let's get moving. So we'll stay seated in the chair for a little while and then we will move our practice to the floor. So again, you want to be sitting nice and tall. Press into your feet. Lengthen your spine. Put your hand on the top of your head and press your head into the hand. Do not hold your breath. Good. From here, bring your fingertips to your shoulders and start to swing the elbows forward and back. And perhaps you have the flexibility and the interest in circling more thoroughly through the shoulders. Breathing in and out of the nostrils. Then let your shoulder rolls come to rest, your hands come to your legs. You're continuing to sit nice and tall. The next time you breathe in, lift your left arm out to the side and up towards your ears. And then when you are ready to exhale, start to lower your arm away from your ear and down to your side. Reaching long, the inhale is when you lift the arm up, and the exhale when you lower. Good, just like that again. Inhale, the palm can now turn up. Maybe there's a little more length in your arms and you feel it through your fingertips. Maybe there's a little bend in your elbow. However the arm is moving is welcome. What's more important is that when you lift, you are inhaling, and just as you are ready to exhale, you lower. Good, let's try that on the other side. And we might be following a different rhythm of breathing since we are different people and different ways of breathing. So don't feel like you have to move your arm just like mine. Instead, feel your arm move. Let your mind be attentive to the breathing. Good. Then you'll close that side. Keep breathing, and when you exhale, tuck your chin towards your chest without blocking off the passage of the throat. Hold it there and continue to breathe. And now begin to sweep the chin across the chest. And then you're going to let yourself guide you to move your head and neck in any way that feels good. Now, if you have a tendency to struggle with neck and head movements and you need some more support, you can lift your hands to hold the head. It's holding the head, it's not pushing the head. Can you feel your neck start to release? And can you feel that through your jaw as well? And maybe even starting to relax the mind so that the mind can be, again, attuning to the breath. Awesome. Let's move down into the legs a little bit. So coming back to that central position, as you're able, you'll lift up one foot. And then always support yourself as needed. You can hold there. And then however you can rotate through that ankle, whatever your range of motion is, you're meeting yourself right where you are. You might find that opening through the toes and squeezing them feels good. Pointing and flexing. Any little trick you have to wake up those feet. Other side. I am facilitating the practice. You are in charge. Great. Now, super important, you want to press your feet firmly down and pretend like you're going to sit up out of your chair. Pulling yourself out of your chair. But before we lift our hips, we're going to stick to keeping them grounded on the chair and starting to work the leg muscles so that when we do create that movement, we are supported. So feet press into the mat. Do not hold your breath and feel your legs start to fire, ignite, get strong, feel the muscles of the legs, and then let that relax. Again, press down. I even get like a little tiny bit taller as I do this, and then let it go. Good, and one more time, press into the feet, activate your legs, don't hold the breath, and then let it go. Good. Now we're taking that action and we're going to grow the container of energy and support that we have and bring ourselves to standing, but we have to secure the core first. So instead of going into a lot of details right this moment, we'll move through these details again and again to keep it very approachable, acceptable, and accessible. We're simply going to press into those feet, ignite the energy of the legs, and feel a firmness in your belly. And then let go. So you're not sucking the belly in or pushing it out. Rather, you're kind of knitting. It feels as though you're knitting the muscles towards each other. You may have had some other forms of movement that have taught you how to engage the core. We'll just refer to the abdominal muscles right now. So feel all of that. Do not hold your breath, and then lift yourself to standing. You can keep your hands on your belly. Now, underneath the ribs is a large muscle called the diaphragm. It's actually kind of a dome shape or umbrella shape. When we inhale, the diaphragm drops down and begins to press on the contents of the abdomen and creates an expansion. And when we exhale, the diaphragm moves back under the ribs and the belly relaxes and softens. Breathe here with awareness in your abdomen and try to connect with this concept of diaphragmatic breathing. It might be easy for you to feel this, and it might be difficult. Either way, be with how you feel. Now, optimal diaphragmatic breathing is key to the yoga practice, and this will come in time as we move through our time together. So if you're not getting it right now, that's okay. But what I do want to say about it is when you inhale, you are not pulling the belly in and up. That is not an inhale. Okay. All right, we're going to leave it at that for now, and we're going to get into some other movements. So I'm going to make some space by taking my chair over to the side. Join me in the center of the mat. Good. Now, standing strong on those feet, they now have the support below you to press into and start to firm through the legs. Then, activating the arms, inhale, lift the arms to the place that they land right till the peak of that inhale. And as you're ready to start your exhale, lower the arms down. Continue in this way at the pace that accompanies your smooth, deep breath. Good. Try to resist the tendency to rush. One more time, I'll call these sun breath arms. Great. Let's keep moving. So the foundation of all of your standing postures is mountain pose. Feet are grounded. The feet are about hip distance. Sometimes we can make a gentle fist, bend our knees, and safely feel or look down there and make that space just about hip distance. Hip as referring to the bones of the hips, not the outer fleshy part. And then in mountain pose, it does depend on our upper body's ability to have our arms in certain positions. So after doing your sun breath arms, you might be a little more familiar with your range of motion. So let's go ahead and start that inhale. We'll bring our arms up to the place where they fit us just right. And then we will exhale and we will continue to breathe as we hold the arms in position. So feeling very stable, strong on your own feet, long, and the inhale is long. And the exhale is long. So all of our standing postures come out of mountain pose. Next exhale, you can start to turn your palms down. And again, no need to rush. Slowly lower the arms down. Observe. Good. Time for a nice big side bend, crescent moon. So for those of you who feel like you want a little extra support, you can have your hand on your hip, and you can certainly bring your chair back over if you feel like you need that here to hold on to. And then same idea. As we inhale, let's bring the right arm up. Then as you're ready to exhale, you're going to lean to the left, but there's a little more to it. You're going to press through that right hip and take this side bend. Staying very firm, long and tall, and not sinking into the hip that you are leaning towards. Now, depending on how your neck feels, will depend on where you look. So strengthening some of the core muscles, strengthening the lung capacity, strengthening the legs, and starting to create space in the side of the body. We'll rise back up. And then the second side, another modification will be with both arms. So if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can inhale and bring both arms up overhead. They can stay in whatever position supports you, or you can interlace the fingers and press up. Now, if we move the arms towards the ears, we're not going to just bring up the shoulders like this. We're going to drop them down. On the exhale, we take the lean to the right and we add that hip press. Now, if you start to feel like you can't breathe easily, then it's a good idea to pull yourself up a little bit, okay? And then let's all rise up on inhale and exhale. Slowly lower the arms down. Great, so mountain pose and crescent moon pose, two very fundamental introductory yoga shapes, yoga postures or asanas. Now let's go ahead and start to activate the legs a little more. So we've already done seated chair squat. We know what that looks like. We sit on the chair, the back's against the chair, and the feet are grounded on the floor. That's the shape that we're going to bring into our standing position. And I really like this one, especially if I'm feeling a little tired. It really tends to boost my energy and gives me a little extra strength to carry with me. So I'm going to show you this one from the side so that you can really get a good look at how the hips should be presented in the shape. So finding a point of focus for your eyes, looking forward, not taking things real serious, okay? So on the inhale, you'll come through your mountain pose. And again, the arm position it varies on your mobility. And when you exhale, you're going to bend your knees and let your hips scoot back towards the chair behind you. Then when you inhale, you're going to stand tall again. Exhale. Keeping the feet grounded. This is a great place to feel that knitting in and that engagement in the abdominal muscles. Rise back up. So lubricating the knee joints, strengthening into the feet, and really starting to get connected to the heels, the legs, the hips, and the core. One or two more times, and then let's hold the pose. Now here again in the holding, you want your tops of shoulders to be soft. You want to have your lips closed but not pursed, and you want to breathe in and out of your nostrils. Can you feel that? Heat, dynamic sensation, maybe a little tingling. You can probably feel the muscles working. You don't have to name them to be able to feel them working. Super stable. It's also known as victory squat, and maybe you feel victorious being able to enter this pose and hold it. Next inhale, we lengthen and we lower. You might even feel how that could be beneficial to your cardiovascular and respiratory system. Good. So a nice way to warm up and a nice way to strengthen and really begin to get connected to the muscles that are supporting you in these standing postures. All right, we're going to move on. Again, this is simply an introduction. It's basic, it's the beginning, and we will begin here again and we will build on. So you can also watch this video again. You can share it with your friends. You can practice it with someone or yourself, and just really know that we can always begin again. Just like the breath is new every day, the yoga posture is new every day. We always have a chance to begin. All right, so we're going to move down to the floor into a seated position. And this is where you could, if you don't access the floor, you would sit back on your chair. And for those of you who can get down on the floor, you might sit on your blankets. You might sit on your bolster. And I'm just going to show you what this might look like. And hopefully you'll be able to see it. So I'm going to do it from the side. I'm first going to sit on the mat in my cross-legged position. Now I can access this position, but I wouldn't really want to stay here without support for a long period of time. I fortunately have a wall here that I could support my back with. But that's not going to take away the elevated knees. So I know my body, and I know that I need a cushion about this big. I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to set the front of my pelvis towards the edge of the mat, and you might be able to see how my knees have dropped down just a little. Okay, so not only does it comfort the knee-hip relationship, but it also comforts the bottom so it doesn't have to sit on a hard surface. So finding a comfortable way to sit. If you cannot sit in this way, you could kneel. And again, I'm going to give you these options and we'll learn them again. You could have that between your legs and kneel. You can grab the blanket or your towel and you can support under your knees. You can roll this up and put it under your hips as well, because we want to remember that comfort is the key. So if you are breathing and you are comfortable, you can do yoga. It's really that simple. So sit as you are able, and if there is any pain, make your way to your chair. All right. From here, we're going to move into a twist. And again, this can be done seated, kneeling, on your chair, standing, reclined on your back. So many ways to access a twist. And I love twisting. I find that when I literally need to unwind, if I'm feeling like really wound up, overexcited, perhaps a little agitated, and even anxious, when I twist, I feel like I balance my nervous system. And actually, there's scientific evidence that this happens, and I feel the effects of it. Sometimes when I'm tired and I need a boost and I give myself that twisting option, I receive the boost. It's like the twist knows just what you need. But in order to do it safely and correctly and to get the benefits, which are way more than just that, you have to be aware and you have to be breathing. You want to get your attention to be aware of the base of your spine. You can even start to feel it's okay to touch your body and get associated with these parts. And the base of the spine takes the lead. So when we twist, just say we're having a conversation with someone who's beside us, we often just turn the head and we can see them, right? You can go ahead and try that. Sometimes we twist the upper body, which is fine as long as you're not in any restrictions in your lifestyle right now. And then you can actually see them a little more. Maybe it's a little more comfortable. You can be there longer and you can go back and forth between your friends. But if you start your rotation from the base of your spine, you will be impressed with how much deeper you can go. And deeper isn't as important as just like getting to be able to see more. And I use that example because when we're driving and we need to back out of a parking spot or a situation with our car, if we just turn our head, we're not going to see very much. If we together, let's try this, start at the base of the spine, lengthen, remember we put our hand on the top of the head, get tall, and then take the base of the spine as the lead and twist to your left. The head can follow. The shoulders stay down and the breath is in and out of the nose. Chin is slightly tucked. Look how much you can see. Good. And then slowly unwind the spine. Now you're not forcing and pushing. You're actually trying to feel this as a functional mobility as well, meaning you would do this in any life, in any action in your life. Okay. So this isn't the yogic master position by any means. This is considered a functional position that we can use all the time. So try it on the second side, lifting up out of the waist, taking the twist. So the base of spine takes the lead, the rest of the spine follows. Don't treat your neck any differently. It's part of the whole spine. And see what you can see. And feel what you can feel. Good. And then unwind the spine. Good. From here, we're going to begin to close this sweet and condensed version of our first beginning yoga practice, the fundamentals of beginning yoga. And we'll do that with a sincere hug of appreciation. So bring your arms around you for that nice hug. And let your hands come to your belly, reminding yourself to feel The movement here as you inhale, again, the diaphragm drops down. It presses into the contents of the abdomen, which expands into the hands. And when you exhale, the diaphragm returns under the ribs and the belly softens. Soften or close your eyes. Breathe in and out of your nose. Lifting your hands from your abdomen and bringing them together in front of the chest. And this is where we will close our practice with this gesture of respect and gratitude. May it be for yourself and your practice. And may you receive my respect and gratitude for your presence. Peace and blessings.